Hello everybody, I am Fuzzyface and welcome to this Ferrari challenge. It is the final episode of season 2. We're heading into Sao Paulo. We've got the Interlagos Brazilian Grand Prix coming up. As you can see from the team stats now, we do have the best headquarters, the wind tunnel. I think it was the wind tunnel that just recently finished building. It puts us ahead of Mercedes HQ wise. We're just ahead of them. I'm not sure what sort of factory or level they've got at the moment. I think we can actually check on that car. We can actually see what sort of factory they've got. They've got a level 3 factory, a level 4 design centre. We're actually behind in this little bit, but because we've built all the smaller bits of the HQ, we are actually ranked ahead of them. I have also started scouting all the Ferrari development drivers. We've got Luca Giotto, Giuliano Alessi and Zhu as well, and we've also started scouting Sergio Camara just to see what their ratings are like. But there's not much else to go through here. We've got the suspension, the last suspension build going, which is going to be finished just after Sao Paulo. The standings are: Vettel is in first place. He's 21 points ahead. He needs to score more than 4 points more than Vettel in this race. So if he gets first, Perez gets second, then Vettel is the champion. If that happens and Vettel is clear and won the title after this, for the Bahrain Grand Prix, right at the end here, Mick Schumacher will be taking Perez's seat there. We've also just opened renegotiations with Sergio Perez. He does want a longer contract. I'm not going to offer him the longer contract, so if he turns us down because of that, then he's going to be gone at the end of the season. If he's going to play hardball over his contract and he won't accept anything less than the shorter contract that I'm wanting to offer him, then it will be Mick Schumacher in the seat next season, and it possibly will mean Sergio Perez going out of the door. Gonna run the practice session and qualifying, come back for the qualifying grid, and we'll jump into the race from that point. So here we go with the grid for the 2017 Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Our Ferrari's on the front row of the grid once again. Lewis Hamilton under a tenth of a second behind Sergio Perez on his qualifying lap, so that's pretty close. And then, as the normal, we've got the 1.2 second gap back to the Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo in fourth. On the third row of the grid, we've got Carlos Sainz in fifth, Max Verstappen in fifth. And then on the fourth row of the grid, as usual, we have the two Williams of Bottas and Rosberg, followed by the fifth row, as usual, the two Force Indias of Hulkenberg and Kimi Raikkonen. Sixth row of the grid, 11th, Fernando Alonso in the McLaren, followed by Julian Palmer in the Toro Rosso. It's going to be close between those two going into the end of the season between McLaren and Toro Rosso. Roman Grosjean in the other Toro Rosso, 13th, Pascal Wehrlein 14th, Magnussen 15th, Kvyat in the Haas 16th, the other Manor of Esteban Ocon 17th, Cameron Jordan improving a little bit to 18th in the Renault, Marciello in the McLaren 19th, and Esteban Gutierrez bringing up the rear of the grid all the way in 20th place. And yeah, 4.8 seconds down on the leaders. So what we need is a decent start here. We've had some trouble, especially Vettel last time out. He got stuck behind the two Mercedes, but both our Ferraris fly off the line here at Interlagos. But there we go, Perez actually gets past Vettel around that first section there. They're going to be battling with each other now. Of course, Vettel is charging down and wanting the title. With this race, there's no real way that Perez can actually win the title, and Perez is possibly holding up Vettel here, and Perez does hold up Vettel enough that Lewis Hamilton actually manages to get past him here. So that is just what we didn't want, as Lewis Hamilton is actually going pretty quick this weekend. He's actually managing to keep up with Sergio Perez, but as usual, the Mercedes do like to run in overtake mode for the first 3 laps. There's enough of a straight here that we should be able to get back to our usual strategy of sitting behind the Mercedes and waiting for them. What's the temperature like here? So the temperature's pretty hot, so these tyres are going to turn up, are going to get warm themselves just running in neutral mode. So we don't have to push them just yet. We're going to save and conserve for a few laps until we see that Mercedes of Hamilton turn down, and then it's all going to be a matter of whether Vettel can actually chase down and overtake Perez from that point. We don't want him getting stuck behind the Mercedes too much. There's no real chance of overtaking the Mercedes whilst they're in overtake mode, and there we go, the Mercedes has turned down. We're going to try catch back up with the Mercedes from this point. It's a 17 lap race. We can just do this on 2 sets of Ultra Softs, which is what the strategy is going to be for both our cars this weekend. We just need Vettel to get in touching distance of Hamilton to get back past him here. It looks like we're going to be able to get back on him on the straight, which should mean we should be able to get back past him as we head towards the pit lane. And there we go, we've got the speed over the Mercedes there. So we're back past the Mercedes. The tyres are running pretty hot here for both these cars. Going to run high mode for Perez. Perez, obviously, he's got a slight advantage when he's in front because he can run a higher fuel mode for a little bit longer than that of what Vettel can do. It's just a matter of whether Vettel can chase Perez down here and get past him. And maybe we should order Perez to let Vettel through, but I would like to do that, but we just want to let our cars race. We don't want Perez holding up Vettel again, really, to the point that it lets Hamilton get past him. Vettel does have the advantage. Should we order him to go past, sort of? I don't want to. I just want to let them race under similar conditions. Vettel should be able to do it down the straight because he's got the better engine out of these two cars. If he stays close enough when they hit the straight, just like he did with Hamilton, he should be able to get past him, even though they're running in the same mode. As we can see, Vettel's slowly catching Perez as we go around here. He's actually slower on that last lap by half a second. No, about 3/10, just over 3/10 of a second. But he can get close enough that when they get to the straights, just around these two corners there, Vettel's a little bit closer this time around. Can he get the run on him on the straight? No, he's actually dropping back there. He goes down to 0.6 of a second behind. Vettel's used a hell of a lot of fuel here. So we do need one of these cars to push into the pits early. That is possibly going to be Vettel. Maybe we should have him attack on these tyres. He is chasing the championship with this race. Hamilton's making a pretty early pit stop here as well. I wonder if he's going to go. He must be going on to a pair of normal softs, and he's going to manage to get past Vettel. No, he doesn't. He tries to make the move but can't make it stick. Vettel, meanwhile, is going to charge down Perez here. Has he got the speed down into this first corner? And there goes Vettel through into the lead. But he's going to have to pit after this lap because Ultra Softs have a higher cliff drop-off point where they lose all performance. So Ultra Softs might not work. Super Softs definitely would. We're going to run Super Softs on both cars. We're going to make both cars run the same strategy, just to keep things fair, because if Perez comes in for a pair of Ultra Soft, he will be a lot quicker than what Vettel can do on these Super Soft tyres. So Vettel is coming in this lap. Perez has got another lap just about on these tyres. Can possibly do one more lap of pushing with Vettel as well. And Hamilton has hit the pits. Hamilton been in and back out. He has been in and back out, hasn't he? So is Vettel going to get back out in front of Hamilton? He does pretty easily there. Want a little bit more tyre temp in these. No, we don't actually want a little bit more temperature in these tyres, do we? Because the track's cooling down. We've got rain coming up right at the end of the session as well, so it's possibly going to be worth going on to intermediates right at the end. So we're going to have to set up Perez's pit stop now. He's going to go on to the Super Softs as well. So Vettel is going to want to try and keep this first place that he had. So he's going to try and chase down Perez into the pits here. There's a 22-second gap and shortening. So Perez hits the pits. Is Vettel going to be in front of him? It does look like that. Here comes... Who's that car? Who's that car? Just come round this bend. Is that one of the Haas's? Kvyat having a lot of problems with his car as well. So there goes Vettel flying past Perez. So he's got a nice little gap there now. Hamilton's still pretty close to Perez at the moment. We're going to try push. Vettel really needs to turn down his fuel right now. Are we staying ahead of the Mercedes? Here we are. That's because we're running our tyres a little bit more into the ground, because we're going to plan for these last 3 laps of going on to the intermediates. Perez still falling behind Vettel here, even though he's running a higher fuel mix. Maybe we should just go try and conserve. With both of these cars, we really need to cool these tyres down as well, so we can run conserve mode now. Just cool them down because we're not getting the same performance out of these tyres. We want about a 5-second gap between these cars so we don't double stack them and allow Hamilton the chance to come back and get this place over Perez. We don't want them double stacking in the pits, do we? That is the one thing that we don't want. So we've got another couple of laps to go here. There's a couple more. So let's just have a quick run down the order. We've got Hamilton in third, Ricciardo in fourth in the Red Bull. Sainz doing a little bit better in fifth. The Mercedes actually doing pretty well this time. I don't know whether they've left it a bit late to try and get past Williams. Is there about 40 points in the constructors? I can't remember. Verstappen on a pair of just so he's going to have to pit again. But of course we've got the wet weather coming, so it doesn't really matter. The two Williams 7th, 8th, Raikkonen in the Force India 9th, Alonso in the McLaren in 10th, which gives them the 1 point over the Toro Rosso. Grosjean in the other Toro Rosso here. Just make sure we're not going past the pit stop that we need. No, we're not. The Toro Rosso here. How close is the McLaren to the Toro Rosso? 10 seconds. So it looks like McLaren are going to get the point they need to finish ahead of Toro Rosso in the constructors. We've got the Renault, the Haas of Gutierrez, the other Toro Rosso of Palm. Marciello doing quite well as well again. Kvyat all the way in the back. The Manor of Verline struggling again. I don't know whether he's had more problems as Verline. Possibly would have had a pretty decent season if it wasn't for all the reliability problems that he's had. He's just going to have to keep an eye out for the rain here. His tyres not cooling down at all with this hot weather, even though we're running in conserve mode. Perez has done a little bit better of a job of cooling his tyres down, but he's not managing to pick up much time on Vettel here. There's one lap here that we can go around where the intermediates are at their full effectiveness, but we're going to set up this pit stop for the end of this lap, are we? Is it going to be worth it to try pit? Or are the other cars going to try and get to the end of the race? Is anyone else setting up for a pit stop here? We've gone through. Is Hamilton going to go through as well? Is he even going to try pit at all, Hamilton? So a few of them are coming into the pits. Ricciardo's coming to the pits. Is Ricciardo going on to intermediates here? Yeah, they're going into intermediate. No one's going to risk. It's just whether the intermediates will keep enough time. And Vettel's engine's going here. I don't know why his engine's going. It's the first time that's happened, but there's still enough in it to get to the end of the race. And we're going to recover the fuel just about enough before the end of the race. So balance for Vettel. We're going to pit with Perez as well. He's looking a little bit better engine wise, so we're going to pit Perez as well. I wonder if Hamilton's going to try risk it here. Looks like he could try risk running these last two laps. The Mercedes really going to try to stay out here. So here comes Vettel into the pits. We shouldn't double stack here. And there goes Hamilton through. And we can absolutely just rag this tyre through to the end. We can go high. Because we've got to now catch Hamilton. It's only 10-12 seconds. We should be able to catch that up pretty easily on the inters with a lap and a half to go. Can Perez get past him as well though? We know Vettel's going to be able to do it pretty easily. As here comes Vettel chasing him down. So Vettel goes past Hamilton. Perez is going to be able to get back past him as well. Ricciardo's possibly going to have enough time to get past him as well. Is Hamilton going to even try pit this lap? He's not. He's going to really try to get to the end on this dry compound. Perez meanwhile is 4 seconds, 3.5, 2.9, 1.8. Perez is going to get back past him as well. There goes Perez. Ricciardo's just far enough back that he's not going to be able to catch him. He's got 11 seconds to go. Yeah, so it was worth the risk from the Mercedes there. It was the only way that they could have hoped to have won this race. It didn't pay off for them in the end, but Ricciardo's actually getting pretty close here. Ricciardo's actually getting pretty close, but I don't think there's enough track left for him to get past. So here goes Vettel across the line in first place. Drivers' Championship for Vettel again, second year in a row. Perez second place once again. Hamilton is here. Is he going to get past on the final straight? Here comes Ricciardo charging down. Hamilton loses his podium place. Ricciardo pips him to the line there. And the other Mercedes here coming in fifth place. And it looks like Verstappen's going to get 6th. Rosberg gets 7th. Bottas comes across the line in 8th. Raikkonen is coming across the line in 9th. Alonso rounds out the points, places in 10th. And Roman Grosjean in the Toro Rosso, gets 11th, and we've got a few to the back. Marcial 19th, Kvyat, where did Jordan finish? Jordan pretty decent there, up in 15th. Verline managed to recover to about 14th in the end. So official standings there, first and second. Quickest lap, a 126.2 from Sebastian Vettel. That is the quickest lap by quite a margin. So checking cars, we don't have any problems at all. And that's the 7-point gap. That's just what Vettel needed to win the Drivers' Championship. No one got caught for dodgy parts there. But Ricciardo managing to beat out Lewis Hamilton right on the finish line pretty much. So Vettel, Perez second. 28 points ahead. That means Vettel is now crowned the Drivers' Championship. It means Schumacher is going to get this final race of the season. Look at that 325-point gap. Red Bull only just about to cross the 300-point mark. We have got a massive 624 points. Hard fought win for Vettel in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Absolute brilliant race. So everyone's still happy. Perez has changed to a +5 morale boost. Doesn't matter about any of that. Schumacher catching Perez up pretty rapidly, as in regards to what they're rated as drivers themselves. £19.6 million in the bank. Absolutely brilliant amount of money that we're going to be able to do some work to the HQ at the end of the season. Once we've got the race budget, the new chassis budget all finalised, we can then see what we have left over for the HQ. Car condition podium, hard fought win for Vettel. So yeah, everything looking good here going into the last race of the season. Obviously Sergio Perez is going to sit this one out, so we're going to promote Schumacher. He's going to take this seat for the... Thought it wasn't going to let us click on him there. So Schumacher's going to get his final seat, and possibly going to have it hasn't even upset Perez of him taking the reserve seat. Schumacher now will be fully happy, so Schumacher is going to have this seat for the final race of the season. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do. But we've got 10 days now to Bahrain. I think we've got the suspension part about to be built in 6 days. We'll come back just before Bahrain. We'll see what this rating of this suspension is. It should be in the 1-250 range, which is quite an improvement over the part we've got. So we'll move ahead 10 days to the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix, and we'll come back after that point and we'll go ahead and run the final race of the season. So we're back before the Bahrain Grand Prix here. We'll just have a look at this new suspension part that we managed to get built. I haven't looked at it yet. It's got to a 1122. Get to a 1202, so it didn't actually add any of the epic parts that I wanted. It had the epic part, not the epic part, the legendary part of adding reliability to the part. So 1202 is not bad. That beats out the best part that we've got, a 1072 by quite a margin. It's a 150-point increase. We do have to work on it now, just to get it 15 days after the race, so plenty of time to get that up to scratch. The biggest news coming out between Sao Paulo and Bahrain is that Sergio Perez turned down the contract just because we didn't give him the length that he wanted. He wanted a full 3 years. We were only willing to offer him 1 year. He turned that contract down. He had a really low patience rating, which means he actually won't renegotiate with us now at all. He gave us one chance to get the contract right, turned it down. If we go to renew his contract now, he's not interested. I'm not dealing with time wasters. We offered him an increase in money. We didn't offer him the length of contract that he wanted. So he has totally turned us down now. So Mick Schumacher has got this seat for the last race of the season, and possibly he will be getting the seat next season outright now. But as we can see, it's not made any change to the sponsor appeal level. We're still 5-star sponsors, which is good because we've got all these sponsors coming up after this race, so we'll be changing 4 sponsors before the start of next season. We might be renewing a few of them if they offer us the same amount of money. Well, they will be offering the same amount of money, but if we don't get any better offers in, we'll possibly go with a few of the same sponsors here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now we've got the 5th rated best drivers with Vettel and Schumacher in the car, but we should easily be able to win the championship next season with Schumacher in the car. He's possibly going to improve rapidly over the course of next season as well. But we're going to jump straight into Bahrain now. We're going to run practice qualifying. We'll come back for the grid again, and then we'll run the final race of the season. So here we go with the grid for the 2017 Bahrain Grand Prix with the wrong flag. we do have a change at the top of the grid. Obviously, Mick Schumacher is not quite rated the same level as driver as Lewis Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo has. He doesn't have the better car either like Vettel has. So we've got Vettel in the Ferrari in first, Lewis Hamilton in second in the Mercedes. The second row of the grid, we've got Daniel Ricciardo in Red Bull. Then we've got Mick Schumacher in his debut Formula 1 race in the Ferrari, 1.2 seconds behind. He's not actually that much slower than the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton or the Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo, so it'd be interesting to see what his race performance is like. And he is going to improve over the course of next season to the point where we can gradually see him improve from this 4th place position. So the third row of the grid, we've got Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen in the Mercedes and Red Bull respectively. The 4th row is a bit of a change here. We've got Valtteri Bottas in the Williams, Nico Hulkenberg in the Force India. One of the Williams knocked back to the 5th row of the grid for the first time in a while. Kimi Räikkönen in the Force India in 10th, Alonso in 11th, Grosjean in 12th, Palmer 13th, Magnussen 14th, the manner of Pascal Wehrlein 15th, Esteban Ocon doing a little bit better than usual in 16th, Kvyat in the Haas in 17th, Marciello off the back row of the grid in 18th in the McLaren, Gutierrez in the Haas in 19th, and Carmen Jordan in possibly her final Formula 1 race in the Renault right at the back of the grid in 20th place. So we're going to jump straight into this race now. As you can see, we're going to go a little bit more aggressive with Schumacher just to try and make up these places. As we know, the Mercedes is going to push from the off. There is a lot of tyre to work with on this track, as we're going to be able to do it on a one stop with the Super Soft, and the Super Soft can do 10-11 laps pretty easily. So we're going to try and push with Schumacher. Hopefully he can get a decent start here. There's a bit of a run down to the first corner, and there we go. We get past Ricciardo, and Schumacher flies past Vettel and flies past Hamilton as well. So an amazing start from Mick Schumacher there. Vettel is now going to come back at Lewis Hamilton. Has he got the speed? He's also going to lose ground to Ricciardo. It doesn't look like it. Ricciardo doesn't carry enough momentum through that corner to get back at Vettel. Schumacher, meanwhile, who we're burning through, he does have the easy on fuel. Doesn't actually show it here. I think he has the easy on fuel stat, just like Sergio Perez does. But Schumacher flying around this track. We're going to have to be careful here because the Mercedes is running in overtake mode still. Maybe if we compensate by attacking on the tyres, that is going to be better than pushing the fuel mix. Is it? Yes, it is. So we're going to do the same for Sebastian Vettel here. He really needs to try and get back at Hamilton. He is the champion at the moment. This race doesn't have much significance. What am I trying to say? Significance on the overall standing of things, as we've won the Constructors, we've won the Drivers' Championship. Getting a little bit excited there that I couldn't speak, and right now Vettel's managed to get past Lewis Hamilton. He's right on the back of Mick Schumacher here. I think the Mercedes is going to start turning down their engine at about the end of this lap, which is where we come into our own at that point, as we start to pull away from the Mercedes now. His tyre temperatures are getting pretty high. We're going to try turn them back down to neutral. The weather's not that hot either, so they should drop temperature in neutral as well. It's 19 degrees, so Schumacher doing a pretty good job here of staying ahead of Vettel. Obviously Schumacher being in front is allowing Hamilton to sort of hang on to the back of us here. We're just going to let our 2 car races here. It's good experience for Schumacher to be out leading this race. It might give him a better stat boost. I don't know what it's going to do for his stats actually being in a race. We'll be able to see how much more improvement it gets there. Sergio Perez did have a lot of room to improve as well, but Schumacher has a wonder kid stat, which means he can improve his stats a lot quicker. And there Hamilton manages to make a cheeky move on Vettel. He managed to carry the momentum through the corner. Vettel now coming back, whereas Hamilton is getting on the back of Schumacher here. Hamilton still keeps trying to run in overtake mode. We've just got to be really careful here with Lewis Hamilton, because Mick Schumacher's sort of out in front. He's sort of holding up the order a little bit. We're a lot more bunched together than what we usually would be. Vettel would have been away if he'd have been able to get past Schumacher. We're not going to use any team orders here. We're just going to let everyone race. Just try and keep things interesting in this race, since it's the last one of the season and there's no real danger of anything being lost here. So there we go. Schumacher is now managing to carve out a nice little bit of a distance here for himself over Lewis Hamilton. Getting nowhere near where we need to be for a pit stop just yet, although we can possibly push the tyres now. Should we try sort of cool down a little bit? We do need to risk it a little bit with Vettel here. We need him to come back at Hamilton. We're going to have to start thinking about recovering some fuel at some point. The Mercedes will need to go into low mode somewhere near the end of the race, so us running in medium mode will be a little bit quicker than them towards the end of the race. Come on, Vettel, you need to get past Hamilton here. Here goes Vettel making his move. He's up the inside there. So there we go. Schumacher's not as conservative with his tyres as Vettel is. We're possibly going to have to think about pitting him this lap, are we? Have we got another lap that we can get out of him? He's managed to do this one. But that's because we've pushed the tyre a lot. Could be. Should want another lap out of this tyre. Should we? You can do this in 9 laps. Yeah, we'll get him in this lap and then we'll get Vettel in for the next lap. So here we go. We don't even need to do that now. So we've got to try and make Vettel stretch out these tyres for another lap so he can't attack on these tyres. Schumacher can because he's coming into the pits this lap. I think a lot of the other AI cars will be coming in this lap as well. Hamilton should be. No, he's going to try stick it out. It's pretty risky on 28% worn super softs. They go through as well. We're going to just push the tyres a tiny little bit. We don't want to push them too much. We're going to run one lap in high mode. Vettel is going to be coming in as well for another pair of super softs. He's going to go balanced. Schumacher meanwhile now is 21 seconds behind the leader. Is he going to get stuck in traffic here? He's stuck behind a Williams at the moment and a McLaren. Is that going to hold him up enough to give Vettel the lead in the race here? 21 seconds. He's just behind the McLaren of Alonso now. Is he going to be able to get past him? Vettel is coming into the pits. It looks like Schumacher's going to be able to do it here. A lot of these cars have double stacked by coming in late, so the Red Bulls are going to be double stacking, the Mercedes are going to be double stacking. Schumacher's going to be coming through. Schumacher gets the lead back there. Schumacher gets the lead back. Absolutely brilliant driving there. The Williams of Rosberg is staying out, so they're going to hold up the Red Bulls here. Going to hold up Hamilton. Hamilton is coming out of the pits. He was a little bit slow through the pits in that both Red Bulls have managed to pass him in the pit stop, which bodes well for our chances now. We want to go neutral here because Schumacher might not be able to make his tyre last till the end if he pushes it too much. Obviously Vettel can push his tyre a little bit more, but we're not going to change up the strategy options between either of our drivers. We're just going to let them race here. We're just going to be able to see whether Vettel has the patience and the speed to get past him. If he can keep close enough on the straights, he keeps trying to make the move too early around this corner. If he could stay right on the back of Schumacher as he hits the straight, he would be able to do it. But he throws himself into the corners, loses momentum, he loses traction. He doesn't get the same grip coming out of the corner because he's taken a really weird line to that of Schumacher, and Schumacher propels out of the corners and gets the gearbox working and gets the acceleration going. As we can see, he sort of flings himself and doesn't keep the distance on the exit of the corners. He's really pushing. We've got 5 laps remaining here. We've got a nice little gap back to Ricciardo that's gaining. So what's everyone else doing here? Verstappen 4th. Where is Hamilton 5th? Sainz, where's Sainz? 19th. Has he had a problem? Did he crash? Must have done. So we've got a McLaren in the top 10, so they've definitely secured, I think it must be 6 that they were battling for with Toro Rosso. Both Toro Rossos, Grosjean and Palmer outside the points. So McLaren have secured that. The Williams dropping back a little bit here. Bottas, Rosberg outside the points. So is Schumacher going to be able to hold off Vettel here for a win in his first Grand Prix? And, oh, no, what have I been doing? What am I doing? Low mode, low mode. And there goes Vettel. Vettel finally gets through. I was just concentrating on letting him race then, wasn't I? How many times I've been doing that recently because we don't have to worry about much strategy. I just let him run for a little bit too long. But 4 laps is enough. Yeah, it's enough. We just caught it in time there. We just caught it in time. And we got it well enough in advance for Vettel. We caught it just about at the right time for Schumacher that he shouldn't run out of fuel. But Vettel managed to get out in front. He should be able to pull away. But this is a pretty decent race from Schumacher to be able to get second place. Although whether he can get second place, because Ricciardo is making a late charge here. Is he? He was gaining. He's now falling behind again as he had to turn his engine down. Everyone's running in low mode for the end of the race. Everyone's been pushing a little bit more than they should. We've got 0.48 to try and recover. Let's just see. We should really be at 0.24 if we hope to recover all this fuel before the end of the race. Can he recover that with his easy on fuel stat? 0.38, 0.37. It looks like he's just going to be able to get about to the end of the race without losing his position to Ricciardo. 0.34, 33. It's going to be pretty tight at the end of the race. He's possibly going to have 0.12. He's going to run out a little bit early, isn't he? Maybe he's going to lose his second place to Ricciardo here. But Vettel comes round again for another win to celebrate his driver's championship win from the last race. Schumacher now, he's going to run out of fuel just about on the final straight. Where's he going to run out of fuel? Just about here. He should have enough to finish in front of Ricciardo. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. Just Schumacher, excellent. Second place in his first ever Grand Prix. Absolutely amazing. He actually managed to go from fourth. He made an absolute blinder of the start, didn't he? He managed to get fourth, and over the course of that first chicane and around there, he managed to go from fourth to first. An absolutely blinding start there. He just couldn't hold on because Vettel has such a vast improved car over that of what Schumacher's got. Maybe in the off-season I'm going to try renegotiate Vettel and Schumacher's contracts. They do have 30 months to run, but I'm going to try and make them equal status drivers, because the way it is at the moment, Vettel is a #1 driver and Schumacher's contract is for a reserve driver, so Vettel is going to be wanting a lot better car than the car that we will give Schumacher. We sort of want to tie them up a little bit more evenly, so that's what we're going to try go for in the off-season. So official standings there, another brilliant win. Checking cars, risk of rule break, none for us. Pascal Wehrlein got knocked out of the points for running illegal parts. Such a shame. So there we go, Vettel the winner, Schumacher second. A brilliant win, 18 points, up into 13th after only one race of the season. And there we go. Oh, just 1 point off being 666. 667, so whether that would have been unlucky for next season if we would have got 666 points. But a massive gap over Red Bull. Absolutely brilliant racing, another brilliant win. And here we go, Schumacher's already built up a little bit of a relationship with the mechanic, and look at that, he made some massive gains there. Some massive gains to his stats, so he's going to improve pretty rapidly over the course of next season in this second seat. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how quickly he can catch up with Sebastian Vettel. So maybe not this season, but the season after is going to be a real battle between Vettel and Schumacher for dominance in this Ferrari seat. It's going to be pretty interesting to see that. So 3.8 million we get there. It's gone up a little bit because we're not paying out the bonuses that we would have done for Sergio Perez, because he got bonuses for finishing inside the top 3, I think it was. But there we go, Vettel wins, Perez second, Schumacher managed to get up to 13th after just one race. Absolutely brilliant. GP2 meanwhile, Norman Nato wins the final race of the season. Jenson Button improves a little bit. It's double points for the last race of the season, so Jenson Button improves to third. He's been struggling a little bit. Racing Engineering won the title pretty handedly over Prima, so we're going to be seeing Racing Engineering in Formula 1 next season at the expense of Haas. Sauber really struggled this season, finishing 4th behind the Prima and Art cars. They were in 5th at one time behind Russian Time. Russian Time, who you would say pretty much underperformed, because Felipe Massa in 6th and Stoffel Van Dorn in 13th. They had a really strong driver lineup, but they really did struggle. Art GP as well, you would have expected them to win the title with Jenson Button and Nick De Vries in the car. Art GP had the strongest car, but they really struggled as well. Norman Nato, a full 70 points, a massive 27 point gap over the next car of Lance Stroll. Stroll was struggling early season in GP2 in the Prima car. It took a while for Prima to get up to speed, for some reason. I don't know whether they were having reliability problems, whether the computer takes that into account when they're simming races for the other series or not. But Prima did take a while in getting up to speed. They finished strongly, managed to finish in second place in the championship standings. So it's going to be interesting to see who is going to be the more dominant team next season. We're going to have like Haas, Prima, Art, Sauber, maybe a more improved Russian time. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be coming up out of those top 5. Meanwhile, GP3 has finished. Habsburg won the final event of the season. Callum Ilott second. Gunther pretty much won the title. He didn't have to do much in this race. He finished 4th, but still won the title. And Genza actually picked up enough points to get into the top. To get to top their state. I'm sure Status were the top team. They weren't they for a long time? They must have dropped off something shocking in that last race. Maybe Alexander Rossi and Sergei Sorokin. Yes, because after the 2 races ago, they were on course for being promoted to GP2. Meanwhile, we've got Alexander Rossi and Sergei Sorokin. Looks like he's going to be stuck in GP3 for another season. Did they have a really bad race here? Yes, Sorokin 18th, Rossi 14th. So they must have started near the back and had a really hard time moving up the order there, which sort of, with double points in the last race of the season, has really messed their season up there, because they were on for promotion for quite a long time. But there we go. Sebastian Vettel confirmed the Drivers' Championship. Out of 16 races, he's won 12, finished on the podium 15 times, and he had one did not finish where he crashed in Monaco. And there we go. Prize money, we're going to grab 24,600,000, a massive 667 points. Sebastian Vettel, massive 351. Mick Schumacher, it says finished 13th there. It's not going to even acknowledge the contribution that Sergio Perez made because he turned us down, the little traitor. Should we call him a traitor? He's not really a traitor. He wasn't happy with the offer we gave him. I don't think he's going to get a decent offer or as better offer as what we were offering him next season. It's going to be interesting to see what team he signs with. I don't know which teams are coming up. There isn't many seats available. There's only a couple of teams that have got contracts expiring. Although with Sergio Perez on the free market, on the drivers market, a few might be willing to drop a driver just to bring Sergio Perez in, as he's one of the better drivers. So we got car condition doing well. Champion, he's got another markability boost and mechanic relationship, big morale boost. Chairman's happiness goes up. Morale contract's running down. Sergio Perez is running down. He doesn't want to re-sign with us. We've managed to scout Zoo now. He's not really rated. He's not really rated anything here up to 3 stars. That's like mid-level GP2 level that he's going to be able to get to. We've got Luca Ghiotto, Sergio Camara coming up in a couple of days. Should we go ahead to that point, because we do want to grab this prize money just to get us up to 46 million here. Obviously we have the money we've put away for the next year's chassis as well. So here we go. Male car repair finished. Let's just finish scouting on these 2 drivers before we finish this episode, this final episode of the season, and then we'll pick up next episode. It'll be the first episode of season 3 where we build a chassis, we go through the driver market, we do the new car livery. That's what's going to be coming up in the next. Sergio Perez actually wins driver of the season. He's going to be out this season. Does he still not want to sign with us? No, not even interested. So we're going to have a pretty tough decision of who we're going to want to make this reserve driver, because whoever gets the reserve driver is going to be like a driver in waiting to take over from Sebastian Vettel. We're going to continue building from within. Possibly going to be Charles Leclerc. 2008 rules now active in Formula 1. We didn't actually change anything last season. No, we didn't. So Racing Engineering have been promoted. Haas have been demoted. Genza have come up, and whilst Trident have made the drop into GP3. Did we grab the prize money? We did. 40 cents. Didn't even notice that we'd not done it. That we'd done it even. So here, Sergio Camara can only get up to 4 stars. His markability is not there as well either. I thought he would have had more marketability than that. Rated as dumb. Strange. And there we go. That should be Luca Ghiotto. And he's not there either. He's already up there with the stars, and he's just been in. He's in the Trident car that's just been demoted from GP2. His markability is a little bit better, but it's still not where we would want it to be. We've got a few sponsors coming through. All these sponsors are available. We'll be going through what we've done with the sponsors next time. We've got a pretty clean looking car this time, so I'm not sure what we're going to do with the livery next time, but we're going to be coming back for next season's episode tomorrow. That will be coming on about the usual time of 5 o'clock. We will be going through the new chassis, the new livery, the driver market for 2018. But that was a pretty impressive season overall. 666 points, a massive... It's not going to tell us there, is it? Because we've moved on to the new season already. A massive 341 points over Red Bull. Another title for Sebastian Vettel. Absolutely brilliant from Vettel once again. It's going to be interesting next season to see what Schumacher can do in the second Ferrari car. We're going to try renegotiate his contracts. But anyway, it's been an excellent season. Thank you everyone for tuning in this season. We're going to be back with season 3 pretty sharpish. But until next time, keep liking these videos. Leave a comment down below. Do try to reply to every comment. I do appreciate all the comments that I get. And until next time, I will see you in the 2018 season. And goodbye.